Nobunaga purchased castles and territories with a single tea bowl. How was such an unconventional transaction possible during the Sengoku period? Indeed, records show that a single renowned tea utensil was said to be equivalent to an entire province, like Omi. But, in fact, an even more astonishing economic magic was hidden within this. What exactly was the tea bowl bubble, orchestrated by Nobunaga? In this video, we will explain why tea utensils held the value of castles, how Nobunaga elevated their worth, and the ultimate fate of this bubble. Now, let us delve into the truth. The main feature also extensively covers the deep cultural background of Shinoyu, the way of tea. During the Sengoku period, rewards typically consisted of land or official positions. However, land grants had limits and could easily become new sparks for conflict. Unbound by existing values, Nobunaga sought new forms of authority and rewards beyond territorial grants. What caught his eye were tea utensils. Shinoyu, the way of tea, loved by the Ashikaga shogunate and court nobles since the Muromachi period, had originally flourished as a special culture among the upper classes. Nobunaga himself frequently hosted tea ceremonies and collected renowned tea utensils from various regions. By showcasing his cultural side, he elevated his own authority. Furthermore, Nobunaga established the position of Chagashira, tea master, and made Shinoyu a permit-based system. This instantly caused the value of tea utensils to skyrocket. With every victory in battle, Nobunaga actively engaged in Maibutsugari, a hunt for renowned tea utensils. This had a clear intention. He assigned official value, known as Okeu Gosaido, to the collected tea utensils, and by personally guaranteeing their worth, Nobunaga established their credibility. He heavily relied on influential merchants from Sakai, such as Suda Soju and Imai Sokyu, to completely control the distribution channels for tea utensils. Backed by Nobunaga's authority, they amassed enormous profits from trading tea utensils, which also began to be used as offerings to Nobunaga himself. Thus, tea utensils transformed from mere objects into symbols of power, economy, and loyalty. So, why was Nobunaga so insistent on tea utensils? Traditional land grants were a double-edged sword in the Sengoku period, incurring high military costs and maintenance. Moreover, territorial expansion always had its limits. Tea utensils, on the other hand, took up no space and couldn't be divided. They were easy to carry and highly symbolic. Nobunaga capitalized on these advantages. Warlords who achieved military distinction were awarded tea utensils as the highest honor. This carried meaning far beyond a simple reward. For instance, Shibata Katsui was granted Echizen province, but separate instances of him receiving renowned tea utensils also became more frequent. Akechi Mitsuhide receiving a Karamano Chawan, Chinese tea bowl, from Nobunaga as a reward for subduing Tamba was a symbolic event of this tea bowl bubble. Tea utensils were not mere objects, but proof of trust and status from Nobunaga. They also served as a tool to visualize the hierarchy among warlords. Those possessing renowned tea utensils were allowed to attend Nobunaga's tea ceremonies, which also became important venues for information exchange. When Sakuma Nobumori, a senior vassal of Nobunaga, was exiled, all his tea utensils were confiscated. This also served as a public example. It was an even greater humiliation than losing territory. The confiscation of tea utensils completely stripped a warlord of their status and honor. Tea utensils acted as a litmus test for loyalty, functioning as an absolute tool of the powerful. So, where was the most dramatic peak of the tea bowl bubble? The most emblematic episode of the tea bowl bubble is the tragic tale involving Matsunaga Hisahide and the renowned Hiragumo tea kettle. Matsunaga Hisahide was an infamous rebel who successively betrayed his lords. Yet he was also a cultured individual who deeply loved Shinoyu. The Hiragumo tea kettle he possessed was a peerless masterpiece, so coveted by Nobunaga that he practically salivated for it. When demanding Hisahide's surrender, Nobunaga asked for the Hiragumo's surrender in exchange for his life, an extraordinarily unusual condition. Hisahide refused, stating, "Hiragumo and our heads are separate." A legend remains that he set fire to his castle and blew himself up with explosives, along with the tea utensil. This episode is perhaps the strongest evidence of how people at the time found tea utensils to be more valuable than life itself. For Nobunaga, Hiragumo was not just a tea utensil. It was the very symbol of Hisahide's power, which is why he clung to it so tenaciously. After Nobunaga's death, Toyotomi Hideyoshi, who succeeded him as ruler, also seized renowned tea utensils from various regions, consolidating their authority under himself. Hideyoshi hosted the Great Kitano Tea Ceremony, inviting people regardless of social status to proudly display his absolute authority and the allure of tea utensils to the world. Thus, tea utensils established a firm position in the Sengoku world as symbols of power, surpassing even castles and territories. So, how long did this bubble last? The authority of tea utensils, built by Nobunaga and pushed to its peak by Hideyoshi, would gradually lose its fervor. The presence of Sen no Rikyu, who gained immense influence in the world of Shinoyu, deeply contributed to the bubble's end. Hideyoshi ordered Rikyu to commit seppuku. While reasons vary, one theory suggests a conflict over the value of tea utensils was a contributing factor. With Rikyu's death, the values surrounding Shinoyu underwent a major shift. The tea bowl bubble gradually lost its intensity. While Tokugawa Ieyasu acknowledged the value of Shinoyu, he ultimately adopted a policy emphasizing stable land as economic rewards. The culture of the samurai class shifted from being solely focused on Shinoyu to more practical aspects like swordsmanship, Confucianism, and martial arts. However, Shinoyu itself did not decline. It deeply rooted itself in Japanese aesthetics as a culture that valued spirituality. The tea bowl bubble orchestrated by Nobunaga profoundly impacted the Sengoku period's economy and power structure, serving as an early experiment preceding monetary economies. This economic magic bestowed immense value upon intangible culture, proving that whoever controlled it could seize control of the realm. As foreshadowed, why tea utensils held the value of castles was born from Nobunaga's absolute authority to assign value and his manipulation of scarcity. How Nobunaga elevated their worth was through a clever economic strategy involving the Chagashira system, Okeu Gosaido, and collaboration with influential merchants. The ultimate fate of the bubble was inherited by Hideyoshi and reached its zenith, but it transformed with San no Rikyu's death and eventually ended as land once again became the primary focus. Nobunaga's economic acumen, which transformed unknown tea bowls into tools for conquering the realm, offers universal insights applicable even today. Perhaps the value of things is sometimes created by someone's authority and narrative.
History still hides untold stories. Subscribe for more forgotten history.